welcome to class. Today I thought we would focus on your hips and just give hips a bit of an all-round workout. So we're going to want to touch on front side of hips, inside, outside, and back. We will do a bit of strengthening and then maybe a little bit of stretch towards the end. So you probably don't need any extra props unless you know you like a bit of padding, extra padding underneath your knees. If your knees are on the floor, grab that, maybe a folded blanket or towel. And then if you're using a mat, make your way there and let's start lying down. So lie down on your back with your knees bent and rest your hands on your lower belly. And before we start to do anything else, just think about breathing slowly and calmly down towards where your hands are resting. So take a couple of deep breaths. And on each exhale, imagine you just relax more heavily into the mat underneath you. So, excuse me, giving mind a moment to catch up with the fact the body is now on the mat. Okay. And then keeping your feet exactly where they are on the floor. So you're not going to pick them up and move them. Just press your feet into the surface of your mat and see that you probably feel your legs switch on a bit. And notice what you feel around your legs. So for me, I kind of feel it around backside. You might feel other stuff. Now, again, without moving them, imagine that you were trying to slide your feet apart, but they've kind of got stuck on the surface of your mat or your floor. So you're pressing your feet down and trying to slide them wider apart. Or you can imagine you had like a band, a resistance band or a yoga strap looped around your feet and you're trying to make it a bit more taut. See if when you do that, you might feel kind of around the outsides of hips switch on. That's where the muscles are that try and take your legs wider. And then let's feel the opposite. Now, instead of trying to take legs wide, imagine you're trying to slide your feet towards each other on your mat. If any of this stuff starts to feel kind of funky in your knees, just see if doing it a bit less will solve that. So now you're almost imagining that there's a block between your feet and you're trying to squeeze it. See what switches on then. So that's going to tend to be more inner thighs. Now keep pressing your feet into the floor, but instead of trying to slide them towards each other, I want you to imagine that you're trying to slide your feet away from you. And see what you feel working then. So you might start to feel kind of fronts of thighs switch on. It's almost like you were trying to slide your legs straight, but your feet have got stuck on the floor. So the leg straightening muscles sit primarily on front side of thighs. And then last direction, now press your feet into the floor. And again, without moving them, imagine you're trying to slide them towards your bum. So it's like you're trying to bend your knees more, but again, feet have got stuck. And see where you feel that. So the bending knee muscles mainly sit in backside of legs. Okay, great. And then make your way up to sit. Sit with your feet together and your knees apart. And if you find that you're kind of rounding and falling over backwards when you're doing this, or your knees are super high, you might want to sit up on a folded blanket or something. We're going to be using your hands to prop you up in a moment, so that might help you out. So you might have done this pose before and been encouraged to use your hands to press your knees more down towards the floor. We're going to take the opposite tack to that. So rather than pressing hands more down, which is pressing your knees more down, which is going to be more of just a passive stretching exercise for legs, I want you to instead hook your hands around the outsides of your knees. And imagine with your hands, you're trying to close your legs like you were closing two halves of a book. But with your knees are trying to create that open book position. So hands are pulling up and knees are pressing down. And feel where you feel working when you do that. So first of all, it's going to be a workout for your arms, your biceps. They're helping to they're trying to hold up your relatively bigger, stronger legs. See if you can also feel your bum muscles switch on. So the muscles that would take your legs out like this, they sit kind of side, kind of back of bum. And then keep your legs where they are, but now just lean back on hands and see if you can ask your knees to drop a little bit lower. The answer might be no, that's okay. So just a couple of simple seated postures, which normally in yoga we would do seated poses, and we'll kind of hold them for a bit and we'll stay there and then be slow and kind of stretchy. We're going to move in and out of them without using your hands to move your legs as a way of making your hip muscles switch on a bit. So take an inhale here, sit tall. As you exhale, lean back just as much as you need to allow you to take your legs out wide. Inhale, sit up. So use your hands to help you. Exhale, bring feet together, knees apart. Great, let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, legs wide. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, feet together. I'm getting stuck on my mat. Again, inhale, sit up. Exhale, legs wide. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, all feet together. Inhale, sit up. I'm having trouble with where exhale, legs wide. Keep going with that. With where my mat sits on the carpet instead of on the wooden floor. It doesn't really grip. So if you're finding that you're dragging your mat around with you, don't worry. You can see that's also happening to me. Next time you end up with your feet together and your knees apart, let's pause like that. And now again, without using your hands, bring your knees together and then lift your feet up. So if I turn sideways, you can see I'm in more of a boat pose position. So adding this position into that little sequence, take an inhale here, sit tall. Exhale, feet together, knees apart. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, take legs wide. Breath in. Breath out, feet together, knees apart. Inhale. Exhale, boat pose, so knees together, feet lift. Inhale here. Exhale, feet together, knees apart. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, legs wide. Last time through. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, feet together, knees apart. Inhale. Exhale, lift your feet. Pause there. Either stay propping up on your hands, or you could hold on around the backs of your knees. That might help you sit a little bit taller, or you can reach your arms forwards. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring feet down. Lean back on your hands, give your legs a wiggle. Great. So you might have felt muscles around fronts of your hips working to move your legs around like that. I can feel that too. You can thank my teacher, Jason, for that little sequence. Okay, make your way to all fours. And from there, downward facing dog, send your hips up and back. So there are a couple of areas of your hips that tend to get stretched a lot in traditional yoga poses. And that's mainly the back side of legs and outsides of hips. So we're going to try and do some stuff that's strengthening for those areas, as well as also front side and inside. So in your downward dog, have a very slight bend in your knees, push the floor away, send hips up and back. Then remember what we were doing lying on your back. Feel your feet on the floor. Without moving them anywhere, press your feet down. And I want you to imagine you're trying to slide your right foot diagonally out and back towards the back right-hand corner of your mat. And left foot is trying to go towards back left-hand corner of mat. If that just feels like it makes your bum or your legs work harder, then great, stick at it. If you're like, actually, that feels kind of funky in my lower back, then you can just stop doing it and just make your normal shape. Then next time you inhale, shift forwards to plank. Pause there for a moment. So belly strong, squeeze your bum. Keep that feeling as you exhale, drop your knees, lower down to lie on your front. Reach your arms back alongside you. Next time you inhale, lift your arms, your legs, your chest up, locust pose. And notice if you feel anything working around your hips. So the muscles that will be lifting your legs up like this sit in your bum and down the back of your thighs. If you don't feel that, try lifting legs a little bit higher. And then lower down, just take a moment's rest. Breathe into your belly. So we're going to try and get some of that stuff in your legs to switch on just a little bit more. So beginning the same way again, reach your arms back alongside you. When you're ready, lift arms, legs, chest up. And then now I want you to imagine, you're not going to let your legs drop any lower. Imagine that you're trying to bend your knees, but that someone has got hold of your feet, or there's like something blocking your feet and it's not allowing you to bend your knees. And see if you feel when you work that, imagine you're trying to bend knees action, that more stuff switches on in back of legs. So when we do locust pose and the rest of the class, this is how I want you to be working your legs. Take a breath in, exhale, lower down. Plant hands under shoulders, inhale, shift up to all fours. Great. So from all fours, keep your right knee where it is, but just swivel on that right knee and take your foot a little bit out to the side. So your right shin ends up on a bit of a diagonal. Straighten your left leg along the floor and then bring the sole of your left foot to the floor. Or you might be on inner edge of foot, but now your toes are pointing towards the left side of your room. Take your weight on your right hand, turn your chest to the left hand, left hip. So we're in like a mini version of side plank. With your bottom arm, push the floor away so that shoulder's drawing away from your ear. If this feels like enough, you could just stay here. Or we're going to experiment with lifting your top leg up. So you might start to feel outside of hip switch on when you do that. Keep pushing your bottom leg into the floor. It's like you're trying to lift the underside of your ribs away from the floor. If you're feeling kind of balanced, you can maybe reach your top arm up to the ceiling. Great. Take a breath in there. Exhale, come back to all fours. Let's go same thing other side. So this time you'll see the back side of me doing it. My left foot, I'm going to kick that out to the side. Straighten right leg, right toes, turn towards right side of room. Weight on left hand. Turn chest to the right, reach your right arm up. And then when you feel steady enough, you could just hover that right foot or lift it high. So as you start to lift that leg, it will make the left side of your waist want to drop down to the floor. Keep trying to lift waistline up even as you lift your leg up. Take a breath in. Exhale, release. Great. Tuck your toes under. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Press your feet into the floor. Imagine you're trying to slide them a bit back. Either just do that, or as well as trying to slide them back, now you're also trying to take them a bit apart. So it's like they're trying to go diagonally out and back. If taking them apart feels weird in your lower back, then just imagine you're trying to slide them back. Take an inhale. Exhale, walk your feet forwards to your hands. End up in a standing forward fold, i.e. bending over at the front of your mat. So you can let your hands lift super hard, doing that with hands flat. You can let your hands lift. Next time you inhale, lift halfway up to standing. So pull your chest forwards and up. So you know when you fold forward, you feel a stretch in your hamstrings. As you come out of a forward fold, that's strengthening for hamstrings. So think about lifting up perhaps a little bit higher than you normally do to get that effect a bit more in the back of your legs. You can prop your hands maybe on your knees if you want a bit more support, or you can reach your arms back alongside you. If this feels kind of strong in lower back, draw your belly in slightly. If it doesn't, you're all good. Inhale here. Exhale, fold down towards legs again. One more of those. Inhale, lift halfway up, so maybe slightly higher than normal. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Great. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to your chest. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards legs. So let's just get breath going a bit. Inhale, lift halfway, chest pulls forwards. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Adding lunges. Inhale, reach up. So we're going to minimize how much we use your arms. Exhale, fold. That's going to make your legs work a bit harder. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands to prayer. Step your right foot back to tiptoes. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Pause there. As you inhale, bend your right knee, press opposite heel down. Exhale, same thing, second side. Inhale, both legs even. Exhale, right foot forwards, back leg stays straight. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, hands to prayer, step forwards and fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold down towards legs. So same thing, other side. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, prayer hands, step left foot back to tiptoes. Inhale, reach arms to ceiling. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. As you inhale, feel feet on the floor. As you exhale, imagine you're either trying to slide them back or you're sliding them a bit back and a bit apart. Take a breath in where you are. As you breathe out, step your left foot forwards. Inhale, reach arms, whoa, up to ceiling. Exhale, hands prayer, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach to ceiling. Let's do another round. Exhale, fold forwards, a bit different this time. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, prayer hands, right foot back, lower that knee to the floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, hands down, plank this time. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down to lie on your front. Reach your arms back alongside you. Locust pose, inhale, lift arms, legs, chest. Downward facing dog. As you exhale, hips go up and back. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, step your right foot forwards, back knee down to floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, hands to prayer, step forwards and fold. So push with your front foot. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Last side, breath in, reach up. Breath out, fold forwards. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, prayer hands, left foot back, lower that knee to the floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling, so keeping it slow. Exhale, hands down, plank. Moving slow takes more strength. Inhale, plank. Slow exhale takes you down to the floor. Reach your arms back alongside you. Imagine you're trying to bend your knees. Inhale, locust pose, really work legs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forwards, back knee down to floor. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, prayer hands, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Really nice. Inhale, reach up. Let's move on. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause there and breathe slowly. If you're going to stay here in downward dog, then you could be working your feet against the floor the way we've practiced. If you're like, no, I could do with a bit of a break, you could drop your knees down to the floor, either come to all fours or sit back in your heels, child's pose. Child's pose isn't comfy, all fours is a great rest position. If you're like, no, I want to keep moving, I want to keep moving, then maybe you could go to plank on an inhale, lower down on an exhale. So far we're doing locust pose for a back bend. Choose that for your inhale, or if there's another back bend you prefer, you could go with that. Downward facing dog, exhale. So I've been making you do locust instead of say cobra or upward facing dog, because that's more strengthening for your hips. That's why we've been choosing that for this sequence. If you prefer to do cobra a couple of times, you're welcome to do that. Okay, so if you're ready to move, let's meet in downward dog. Inhale, lift right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, lunge. Back leg straight. Inhale, come up, bring hands to prayer. Okay, so if you feel kind of wobbly in your lunge or your back leg straight, try shortening your stride. That might make you feel a bit better. Then bend your back knee part way to the floor. Feel when you do that, back leg might start to work a bit harder. Now feel front foot, feel back foot. Imagine you're trying to pull them towards each other on your mat. Keep doing all of that. Hook your thumbs together behind your back. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other and then draw shoulder blades down. Take one more inhale. You're pulling feet towards each other. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Great. Stay where you are. Come down for a rest. Or if you want to keep moving, we can shift through this little sequence. Inhale, shift forwards to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, locust pose. Imagine you're trying to bend your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same lunge on the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, lunge, back leg straight. Inhale, come up, hands to prayer. Keep breathing, bend your back knee. Feel your feet on the floor. Imagine you're trying to pull them towards each other. So we're trying to get legs to charge up. Then bring your arms down by your side. Either hook your thumbs and slide your hands down, or just another option this time, you could interlink your fingers and take your hands back. Whichever feels like it creates the nicest feeling of stretch in your chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Great. Take a breath in where you are. As you breathe out, walk your feet forwards to your hands, standing forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Shift weight onto your right foot. Bring your left knee into your chest. Keep breathing. So we're not going to use your hands. We're just going to make your hip muscles move your legs around themselves. Make your standing leg straight and top knee high. Keep that. Point your knee out to the side. Pause there. Feel what you can feel working in your hips. So maybe front side, that's lifting up. Maybe outside, that's either turning out or stabilizing you, depending on which leg. Maybe inside, that's getting a bit of a stretch. Okay, and then bend that top knee a lot, as much as it will bend. Land your foot as high as you can get it up the inside of your standing leg. Don't use your hand to grab your foot and bring it in. Use your hip muscles to put it there. So unless you have some kind of knee injury, which you would know about if you had it, it's fine to put your foot on the inside of your knee. Notice if that's making your bum stick out to the right, draw outer right hip in. Then we're going to come out of this the same way we got here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, take that knee out to the side and up. Inhale, point your knee forwards. Exhale, put foot down on floor. Great. Give your legs a shake if they need. Then shift your weight over onto your left foot. If you're getting kind of wobbly to the point where you can't stay up long enough to do the hip work, then just put your hand on a wall or some piece of furniture. Bring right knee into chest. Standing leg straight, top knee high. Breath in here. Breath out, turn leg out to the side. Inhale, bend that knee. Exhale, don't use your hand, land your foot. I know that you could get your foot higher up your leg if you use your hand to pull it there. Fine, that's just not the way we're doing it today. Then as you inhale, point that knee out to the side again and up. Exhale, bring it forwards and down. Great. Turn to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand, reach your arms up. Exhale, chair pose, bend your knees, sit your hips down and back. So I'm going to go chair pose, hands in prayer. I prefer that. I don't mind if you like hands prayer or arms up. Think about bending your knees and sitting your hips low. If that starts to get problematic in your lower back, draw your belly in. If it feels okay, you're good where you are. So we had this rule in yoga about knees not going over your toes. That's actually different to how every other movement discipline does it. So when you go to a fitness class and you squat, your knees go way over your toes. So as long as your knees are feeling fine, you're good where you are. Take a breath in. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Keep it lifted. Exhale, keep that leg straight, but just rotate it out so that your toes are pointing to the side of the room and your little toe side of your foot is pointing to the ceiling. Then on an inhale, try and lift that leg higher. Exhale, step your foot forwards, warrior two, back toes turn out. Inhale, come up. Okay. So I want you to imagine that just on the outside of your knee, there's either like a yoga block propped there, or there's a wall that's just outside your knee, or even just your hand is there. In fact, let's do this. Put your hand there, just outside your knee, and with your knee, push out against your hand, but with your hand, resist. So your knee's actually not going to go anywhere. And see if you can feel stuff switch on around side of your bum when you do that. Keep that work going as you come up to normal warrior two and reach your arms out. Keep that feeling of front knee pressing out, swivel front palm to face the ceiling. Inhale, reach front arm up, back hand drops. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Great, inhale, side angle pose. Let's go the version with your arm on your thigh. Other arm can reach up to ceiling, or you could take your arm alongside your ear. So now with your bottom arm, the arm that's on your leg, I want you to imagine you're trying to turn your knee in. So you're trying to push your knee a bit to the left, but your knee is trying to drag your arm to the right. So it's like leg is trying to turn out more, but your arm's resisting that. So your arm is providing a bit of resistance for hip muscles to work against. On an inhale, come back up, warrior two. Exhale, hands down to the floor, downward facing dog. Then same thing, you can stay in your down dog. You could drop your knees down for a rest if you like, or you could go through that little sequence, plank, back bend, down dog, your choice. When we're ready, we'll go same thing on the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg. Keep it straight, don't bend your knee. As you exhale, just rotate that leg out so your toes point towards the left side of the room. Inhale, lift outer edge of foot up. Exhale, step your foot forwards, warrior two. Back toes turn out. Inhale, come up. Okay, Take your left hand down to the outside of that knee. With your knee, push out against your hand, but with your hand resist. And then try and keep that feeling in your leg as you reach your arms out shoulder height. So leg is pushing out against something imaginary now. Flip front palm to face the ceiling. Inhale, reach front arm up, back hand drops. Exhale, warrior two, arms reach out. Inhale, front arm down, front thigh, other arm alongside ear. Okay, with your arm, imagine you're trying to pull your knee to the right. So arm is trying to make knee point towards big toe side of foot. But your leg is trying to turn out. So your leg wants to point towards the little toe side of your foot. On an inhale, come back up, warrior two. Perfect. Exhale, hands down to floor, downward facing dog. Same options, hold where you are. Come down, take a rest if you like, or choose to keep moving. So you could be going plank, lower down, back bend, down dog. You could be alternating, bending one knee and then the other, your preference. Then take an inhale where you are, bend your knees. Exhale, step or jump your feet to your hands, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, lift high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up and reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Okay, so building a bit on that version of tree pose that we did earlier. Palms together. Shift weight onto right foot. Bring left knee into your chest. Keep it high, keep standing leg straight. Point that knee out to the side. Bend your knee. This time we're not going to put your foot on your leg. So leg's going to have to do all the work of holding itself up. Just take that foot as close as you can to the inside of your leg without touching it. Yeah, leg's doing the work of holding itself there. Maybe reach arms up to ceiling. So the strength-based version of tree pose. Inhale here. Exhale, hands prayer. Inhale, take knee out to side and up. Exhale, bring it forwards and down. Great. Take a moment. Give yourself a wiggle. Breathe slow. Same thing, other side. Shift weight onto left foot. Bring right knee into chest. Point that knee out to the side. Bend your knee as much as it will bend, and then hover your foot just by your leg, but you're not resting it. Maybe reach arms up to ceiling. Inhale there, tall tree. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, knee out to side. Exhale, bring it forwards and down. Great. Give your legs a shake. If you've just been holding your breath, breathe again. Okay. And then before we come down onto floor, just something for inner thighs. So step your feet a little bit wider, but not quite as wide as warrior two. Turn your toes out a little. Bend your knees, sit down into a wide-legged squat. And rest your forearms on your thighs. Okay. So now, this might be plenty in your inner thighs, is plenty for me. If it's not, or if you're just like, want to experiment with something different, instead of resting arms on the tops of your legs, I want you to swivel them a bit so they're more on the inside of your legs. So it might be that you kind of wrap your hands around maybe the middle of your shin. So if I show you that from sideways, I went from arms propped on the top to arms on the inside. So as you inhale, stick your bum out behind you. So spine, as far as you can tell, is about parallel with the floor. As you exhale, sit low with your arms gently pressed out, but with your legs squeeze in. And then on your next inhale, come up to stand. Great. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. So earlier on, we did a version of side plank where you had a knee down on the floor. You could do that again. So as a reminder, if you're going to do that version, you want to drop your right knee down, swivel that foot out, and then your weight's going to be in your right hand. And you can either have left foot down or lift it up. For this time, we're not going to drop that knee down, and you're going to come onto the outside edge of your right foot. Weight on your right hand. Left foot maybe stacks on top. Bottom arm is actively pushing the floor away. Okay, so you're either just lifting legs high, or remember what we were doing those versions of tree pose. Don't use your hands. Take top leg into tree pose. Take a breath in. Exhale, release. You might want to bring your knees down between sides. And then if you're ready for the next side, choose which version you're going to do. So if you're going to drop your knee down, it's going to be left knee this time. If you're not, you're going to come onto a little toe side of left foot. Stack your right foot on top. Maybe turn chest to the right. Left shoulder is drawing away from your ear. Yeah, think about lifting your hips high. And then either just do that or take top leg tree pose. If that feels like a bad choice, you just come back to where you were. Inhale, exhale, release. Child's pose. Child's pose isn't a comfortable resting position for you. You can maybe lie down on your back, hug your knees into your chest. And then if you're not already there, let's lie down on your back. Have your knees bent like we started. Arms by your side. So we're going to do two versions of bridge, which work your hips in slightly different ways. So from what might be your normal bridge position of feet about hip width, heels kind of under knees, I want you to take your feet a decent step further forwards so that if you can see my knees now, rather than shins being kind of perpendicular to the floor, it's almost like there's about a 90-degree bend behind my knees. And then I'm going to come up onto my heels. So shifting my legs forwards like this is going to tend to put more of the effort down towards my hamstrings. So you might feel it a little bit more in the backs of your legs than you're used to. Take an inhale. As you exhale, push into heels. Lift your bum up. So this is plenty. You can just stay doing what you're doing. If you want to work just a little bit more, try something different. We're going to extend one leg, but we're not going to take it up to the ceiling. I want you to keep your thighs completely in line with each other. Take your weight into your left heel. Just extend your right leg forwards. And then bring that heel back down. And same thing, other side. Bring that heel back down and come down. Great. Bring your feet together and your knees apart. So if you feel like you're ready to wind down, you could just stay like this. Otherwise, we're going to do a version of bridge with legs like this, which is going to tend to work the outsides of your hips a bit more. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, press your heels together, lift your bum off the floor. So you'll probably find in this version, your bum doesn't lift as high as you're used to. That's okay. Keep trying to take your knees out wide. So remember what we were talking about at the beginning, like your legs were an open book. Keep trying to open the book, even as you lift your bum up, because you might find the effort of lifting your bum up once knees want to come back together. Take an inhale, exhale, come down. Either just pause there for a couple of breaths, or if this isn't a mega comfy shape for you, you could bring feet flat on the floor, knees bent up. And just rest. Bring your right knee into your chest. Catch hold of it. Straighten the other leg along the floor. Using just your left hand, take your top knee across your body into a twist. You might want to take your right arm out wide if you've got space. You might not prefer that. Now with the hand that's on your knee, feel where your hand is pressing down on your knee. And with your knee, push back up. So we're asking that outside of your right hip to switch on a bit in this twisted position. Take an inhale, exhale, untwist. Let's switch legs, bring other knee in, right leg straight, opposite hand on left knee. Take a breath in, exhale, same twist, second side. But rather than just letting your leg get passively pulled over by your arm, with your knee push back up. So it's like hands trying to get knee to the floor, but knees trying to drag hand up to the ceiling. Take an inhale, exhale, untwist. Choose a position to rest in for a couple of minutes. So that might be knees bent, maybe knees knocking together. You might like legs straight. I think I'm going to go knees bent. Then take a couple of deep breaths down into belly. And notice perhaps that you're aware of your hips. Can you also feel your feet equally as clearly? How about your hands? Your elbows? Your shoulders? Can you feel any expression on your face? If so, how does it feel to let that melt away? Tune into the feeling of yourself breathing. So if you've got time to stay here a little bit longer, you might want to do that. That would be nice. If you just had 45 minutes to spare today, we're almost up against that. So if you are going to round up your practice soon, just take a couple of deeper breaths up into your chest. And you might want to hug your knees into your chest, roll around a bit. You might want to straighten your legs, reach arms overhead, have a bit of a stretch. But if you're not there already, let's hug knees in. And then make your way up to sit. Choose a sitting position where you feel like you can be fairly upright. You don't have to sit like me. You could sit on the edge of a chair maybe. Bring your palms together and your thumbs to your chest. Take an inhale here. Exhale, drop your chin. Thank you so much.